Okay, before we start our video, I just would like to mention that this video is based on our research paper and a project on our assurance of learning, and the video script is help with the assistance of artificial intelligence to help the script to be more cohesive and more understandable to deliver. And that is all that I want to declare. Thank you very much for listening and enjoy the video. The river was frozen. On one side, a lifetime of darkness, hunger, and state control. On the other, a faint flicker of light from China that promised, maybe, a single bowl of rice. This was the desperate first step taken by a 13-year-old girl and her mother. This is their journey to escape to freedom. Tell me, what's your favorite color? Or let's say, what's your hobby? Now, for most of us, these are relatively simple questions. But what if you don't have an answer? Well, it's not because you don't know the answer, but it's because you are not allowed to have a choice. Now, this is a grim reality that most North Koreans face, and particularly on the story of Yeonmi Park.
Imagine your apartment building caught fire. What would you do? Would you stay there to be burned? Or would you jump off out of the window and see what happens? That's what we did. We jumped out of the house inside the fire.
Yeonmi grew up in Haesan, North Korea. Like all children, she was taught the great leader was a god, and her country was a paradise. But the reality was a constant knowing hunger and a life dictated by fear. She saw dead bodies floating in the rivers and people collapsing from starvation on the streets. Compassion was a luxury she couldn't comprehend. As she put it, if you don't know you're a slave, how do you fight to be free? Her world shattered when her father was arrested for illegal trading, selling basic goods to survive. With her family facing starvation, the choice became clear: escape or die. In 2007, at just 13 years old, Yeonmi and her mother crossed the frozen Yalu River into China. Guided by the distant lights they hoped that would lead them into China. But as soon as they arrived in China, they would encounter human traffickers and would be exploited by them. What happened next is the part of the story that is hardest to hear. In front of her eyes, Yeonmi's mother was exploited to protect her. Then they were both put up for sale. Her mother for less than $100. Yeonmi for under $300. She was sold to a trafficker who gave her an impossible choice: become his mistress, and he would help her father escape to China. Refuse, and be deported back to North Korea to face torture or execution. Hating humanity but desperate to save her family, Yeonmi had to accept. The trafficker kept his promise. Yeonmi was soon reunited with her father, but the moment was tragically cut short. Sadly, he died from cancer in her arms. She had to bury him in the middle of the night, without a proper goodbye or mourning, in order to avoid being discovered. Lost in grief, she and her mother begged the trafficker to let them go, and in a shocking act of mercy, he did. Yeonmi later reflected on this, saying, I think because even though he was very evil, he had humanity inside of him. And that was the reason why I can forgive him and I can see him as a human being. The single act of humanity gave them a new chance. Through her mother's connections, they connected with Christian missionaries who would guide them on the final, most dangerous leg of their journey. Their path to freedom lay across the Gobi Desert, with only a compass. And later, as the compass breaks down, they use the stars as their guide. Yeonmi and her mother walked towards Mongolia. When they were finally caught by the Mongolian guards, they faced deportation back to China. In a final, desperate act, they held knives to their own throats, screaming they would rather die here as a free woman than be sent back. And their courage worked. The guards relented, and they were sent not to China, but to South Korea. After years of suffering, Yeonmi was finally free, but her journey was far from over. In South Korea, it was like landing on another planet. When a teacher asked a simple question, what is your favorite color? She couldn't answer. She had never been allowed to have a preference before. Yeonmi Park's story put a human face on an unimaginable crisis. It echoed around the world, revealing the brutal scale of human trafficking and the inhuman conditions North Korean escapees face. Today, she is a powerful voice for the Human Rights Foundation, ensuring the world does not forget the millions still trapped in darkness. Her story is not just one of suffering, but of incredible resilience, the enduring power of hope, and a testament to the simple profound truth that she now knows. The opposite of oppression isn't just freedom, it's having a choice. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the content that we showed and have a nice day.